Okay, we're here. We're going to do the turn signal switch today. Here to talk to you about a little bit about that. It's a pretty simple, straightforward little procedure. But the reason we're changing this turn signal switch is the arm's flopping around. It's mechanically, it's broken inside. You're going down the road and the left turn signal won't go off. It'll just be flashing, and the left side brake light doesn't work. It's inoperative. A lot of people don't realize about their brake lights is that the circuits actually go through this turn signal switch. And so if you have a brake light out and you exhausted everything, tried your bulbs, checked your power, your fuses, and everything's good, you might be losing your signal through your turn signal switch. It's pretty common, and like I said, a lot of people chase their tail, run around and around looking for a brake light problem when the problem is right here in the turn signal switch. Still a little safety. We'll put on some safety glasses. We got earplugs. We'll need those in a minute. But first, you're going to start out taking the horn button off. Just push in. Correction. First thing you're going to do is unhook the negative terminal on the battery. This is a live circuit. You've got a horn circuit here that is live regardless of where the key and what position the key's in. So you want to make sure the negative terminal. Then you can come inside the car, push in slightly, and turn to the left, and hang on to it because there's a coil spring behind it. And you gently lift it out of the way, just set it over on the other seat. You've got turn signal arm, standard thread, just turns off. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a flat spot where you can either get onto it with a small wrench, a pair of pliers or something, and take your turn signal arm off. This one's in pretty rough shape. It needs to be cleaned up, painted, or replaced. Center nut is a 15/16 nut. I'm going to try to get it off here with impact, buzz it off a little bit. Put some ear protection in, eye protection. Take a steering wheel puller, or in this case, this is a universal style puller. Get it started. Always start your bolts by hand. You want them to run down evenly. Tighten down on it. And there it goes. It's free. Okay, do the magic of editing. We're going to lift the steering wheel off the column. And there is a spring back here, which I have already taken out and sent out of the way. It goes right there. You just lift that spring out. Okay. Use my screwdriver as a pointer. There are some light up here for you. There are 3 screws on the center of this ring here, and then there are 2 screws. You can get down to where you can see. There's a screw there, back in there, back in here. What you want to do is you want to lift your switch out so you can access the 2 screws in the back, and what that does is it allows this collar to slide down and makes getting the switch out just a tad bit easier. We're going to wrestle with it a few minutes and see if I can get it out, and I'll tell you how it went and tell you the process. Okay, we're back. I don't know if you can see that or not, so we can get this thing to focus a little better. Bare wires. Somebody took and made a jumper from the green wire to the green with the white, snipped the green with the white off. At some point in its life, this thing had a real hack job done to it. Don't do this kind of work. If you don't know how to do electrical work correctly, then pay somebody to do it. This right here will burn your car to the ground. And at the very least, your lights won't work correctly. So just don't do this kind of stuff. What we're going to do is I'm going to cut these wires, and I'm going to leave them inserted into the connector, and then I can take and match them up, pull them out of this connector one at a time, and then reinstall the new wires one wire at a time so I get them back in the correct position. Okay, here's what we did. I got the new turn signal switch. Got it here in my hand. I took the harness. What you want to do, you want to match your wire colors. See all the colors I have there. You want to make sure that you match them to your to the wires that are on your present switch. Because what I do is I cut this connector off. I just go on and snip it off. But I want to make sure that I have all the right wires before I do. So once the wires are cut, you should be able to straighten them out a little bit. Pull that cover off. Push them a little bit to the back and straighten them out. Grab it by that harness and just give them a yank. And there you go. They come right out. Defective switch out of the way. Okay, you want to see if you can take and put you a little dab of grease. Some of these parts, they've 50 years old on some of this stuff, hadn't been touched in years. Put a little dab right there. Your white lithium grease. You've got a pivot point for your turn signal switch. Keep it working smoothly. Get my finger in there. There we go. And you want to keep it working smoothly. I don't know if I can get any forced in there or not. Took the end of the harness, and you want to tape it on a point to a taper, so that when you take and shove it back down in here, let's see if it's going to go or if it's going to give me a bunch of fit. If I can do it one-handed, I don't know, I may have to stop. Okay, I don't know if you can see it sticking out down there, but it did walk its way all the way down. And you have to just manipulate it, push. I'm going to try to grab a hold of it and pull it the rest of the way out. Come on, baby. Well, all my wires come through. Let's take a look and see. Okay, we're back. We fast forwarded a little bit. We had some technical difficulties that we had to deal with. But what you're going to do is you're going to untape this harness, and then you're going to take this pigtail, this plastic piece that you've held on to, and it still has all the little wires sticking out of it because we cut it off earlier. Then you're going to take and gently, one at a time, and you're going to probe the wires out of it. See, I've taken, this is one of the wires that was sticking out that we had cut off. And you start at one end on one corner, and you start pulling them out one at a time. You can see the little tang sticking up there. You can take you a little pocket screwdriver. I can do this one-handed, but you can take a little pocket screwdriver, regular blade pocket screwdriver, and reach inside and push that tang down. And when you do, when you push that little tang down, that wire will slip out of the connector. Okay, then you take and you match that wire's color, which you can see it's a faded blue, but it was a blue with a yellow stripe. And you take and you insert it where you just removed the pigtail. And then you go to the very next one and you match it up, and you go right down the line all the way down one side, and then flip it around and you go right down the other, taking a little pocket screwdriver, inserting, bend the tang, pull it out, find the correct wire, insert it in there. Do one wire at a time and you can't go wrong. Now all you gotta do is plug it up. Then all you gotta do is hook your battery up and turn your key on and check that your switch is operational. Okay, we're going to do a quick demo of the repairs that have been made with the turn signal switch and the headlights high beam, low beam dimmer switch. Alright, go ahead and turn the key on and start with the left turn signal. Just lock it in, there you go. Alright. Turn back to the left turn signal. Okay, now turn the steering wheel. No, leave it on. Turn the steering wheel. There you go. Now turn the right one on. Now turn the steering wheel. There it goes. Alright, now if you would be so kind as to turn on the headlights. Alright, let's go with, what are we on, low beam or high beam? Low beam. Alright, let's go to high beam. Alright, back to low beam. Alright, well, there we go. Got a turn signal switch that cancels, and high beams and low beams that now work. Thank you for watching.
Do you remember the day we met?